I think she might have turned 80 this year.
Wow.
79.
Was she able to generate any
Yes.
money from any of this? Like, cause I mean, obviously she didn't get paid fairly and,
Right.
you know, she struggled a lot, so
Yeah.
is
I
she
would
still
think-
struggling?
Like some places would have to pay her.
Yeah, so
She's probably in a
she's
speaker
in
bureau,
a- yeah.
and they pay big bucks.
They
Yes,
they do
good.
pay big bucks.
So
What?
she-
Who pays big bucks?
Speakers
Speakers
bureaus,
bureaus.
there's different speakers bureaus.
Oh,
So,
okay.
yeah, so
That
she,
you can- they're
it's
like your agent.
supplemental to her social security, so.
Wow.
But she's okay.
Oh, yeah,
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 okay.
yeah, yeah, she's good.
And Charles is good.
No, he
Charles
died.
He
died.
passes, yeah. And that you can tell from your writing that she really struggled at the end with her not being there for him
Yep.
because she was involved with all this court dealings.
Right,
She really, I think, had some angst over that.
sure,
Oh yeah, she had angst all through.
right.
But this is, I mean, her husband passes, you know, and she's
She'd gone off to
off
New York,
somewhere else and
Yeah.
he dies alone and she's
Right.
just
Yeah, and she
eaten up
came
by it.
home. and she found him, that's right.
Oh,
Oh,
bless her heart.
Yep, so,
Do you think along her journey she realized she must have not have understood what the situation actually was? She was just trying to be a good employee and do
Right.
her job,
right,
and it wasn't until later that she figured out, gee, these
Right.
people have really been ugly to me. And
Well, it's amazing that the law was, tell me if I'm wrong, but it was, you had to make a complaint between 180, from your first paycheck
180
to
days,
180
right.
days.
well,
And
so here's how it
from-
worked. So it's confusing, but the Paycheck Accrual Act stipulates that if you find out you're being discriminated against, you have 180 days to file suit. So when it made it all the way to the Supreme Court, they reinterpreted the law and they said that 180 days started for Lily with the first discriminatory paycheck that she didn't even know about.
that's bullshit.
Well, it is
So
bullshit.
that's what the Ledbetter Act does. It reinstates the original intent, which means every discriminatory paycheck you get starts a new 180 days.
Yes,
Until
So,
you come to,
cause she
Right.
didn't know
because
she
she
was
didn't
being
know.
discriminated
And
against.
actually, when she started there, the pay was level. It was as she moved through the years.
Mhm.
What was her highest level?
Oh, I don't remember.
she changed so many times, it's hard to tell.
Mm.
I'd have to look in the book.
Did you ever go to Goodyear? Did you ever go to the?
No,
Any
they
of the
wouldn't.
management?
No, they wouldn't. I did call the union and I did talk to this nice guy and ask him a lot of questions about what it was like inside the plant. And then when I was writing the part about she worked at a chicken processing plant.
Oh, that
Yeah.
was
I
horrible.
couldn't do
I got on
I can't even-
YouTube and started
I
looking
can't
at
even
undercover
ride that
videos.
chicken
Oh,
plant.
don't do that. Oh,
She's
don't
wearing
do
like
that.
a rubber
It's
suit.
horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Right now
horrible.
he's chicken again, right?
Mm-mm.
Right.
It'll
Yeah.
make you want
I
to
don't
become a
wanna do that.
vegetarian.
So-
completely.
Yeah, I
No,
know, I know.
there was no way I could go to Goodyear.
well, you know, her pay is one thing, but when they mess up her car and her
Right,
tires
the
and somebody turned a
retaliation.
machine on her and
Yeah.
it messed up her,
Knee.
was it knee?
Yeah.
I mean, all of those things.
Yeah, that's
And you
intimidation.
have to
It's-
wonder if those people, I mean, karma's a bitch. So,
Right,
I
right.
mean, they got there somewhere. I
Right.
mean, you can't continue to
Right.
mess with people like that and get away with it.
How does she continue to stay through that?
I don't know, that's the question everybody asks, and she would say because, you know, it was a good paycheck. It wasn't as much as she should have been paid, and it wasn't equal to what the other managers were paid, but it was a good enough living for that time and place in Alabama.
And where
Or
was
be
this?
able to put kids through college.
That's
and-
Right.
And
Where
get
was the
more
Goodyear?
pay
Where was
and
it located again?
Gadsden.
Gadsden. Yeah.
And-
Gadsden's a tiny little town.
Right, exactly.
We had an estate sale there. There's like the river there
Yeah,
or the lake or
yeah,
something. So there's the haves and there's the
Yeah.
have-nots.
Right.
And she had that impetus of like, I'm gonna show you. I
Right,
can
that's
do
right,
it. You know,
right.
this sort of tenacity
Yes,
of like,
she
I'm
had
gonna stick to it and
tenacity.
prove it to you, you know?
Right, yeah.
How tall is she? Is she tiny? She seems like
She
she's
looks
tiny.
tall here.
She,
Is she as tall as you are?
That's a lot of
No.
tires.
no, but she's not short.
But those big heavy tires.
She was moving those on her own.
Oh my
It
God.
was like CrossFit.
Tires, yeah.
I know.
If you've ever been in CrossFit,
people
they
pay
make you
good money to do
make you move those stupid tires.
I know, and wherever she goes, like the first time I got out of my car and she saw me, she was checking out my tires to see if I had.
How's the tread?
That's
Oh my
funny.
gosh.
Yeah. I think I did. I didn't know any better.
So, does she have children?
Yeah, she
Yes.
has two.
Yeah, she has Vicky and Philip, and Vicky lives here in Birmingham,
Oh.
and she's a vice president at Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Rebecca knows her. Isn't that what
Does anyone know her?
What's her last name?
Rebecca is our next door neighbor.
We know Vicky's last name.
Is she at Blue Cross Blue Shield?
Yeah.
Rebecca is.
Okay.
She's one of the top 7, so I bet she does
I
know.
bet she does know her.
It would be Vicky Ledbetter.
Well, we can go on the website
Maybe,
and look.
no, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so,
But yeah, she's definitely.
and she has one granddaughter named Grace.
Grace.
Yeah, I
But
love
this
that.
was before all this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's strange.
So you went to her home,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
and so what kind of home does she have?
Well, she's been there since 1969. That's the
Wow.
house they moved in when
She's
they.
the same house that she had with
Wow.
Charles.
Okay.
Whoa.
Still lives there. And it's up at the end of a street, up against a ridge, and it's a ranch house. And now her living room and dining room are full of mementos and pictures and statues and gifts from people all over the world and where she's spoken. So it's kind of like
Wow.
a museum.
Wow.
That's
cool.
Well, she's definitely an inspiration. So I have a friend here in Birmingham who is a drug rep. And so she's probably in her mid 50s, and they're trying to push her up because of her age. And so she's I was telling her what we were reading, and she's really identified with her.
Oh, good.
And actually contacted Lily Ledbetter.
Oh,
She
good.
emailed her. I don't know if what has transpired
Right.
from that, but she's really been an inspiration to so many people.
Hey, your dog.
Oh, don't pick on poor little Anna.
She was petting her.
Look at her little butt. And a dog.
Precious.
Well, she will tell a group of college kids, the first thing she will tell them is, and it's so hard for them to understand this, but your first paycheck, your retirement is tied to what you're doing now. You can't think that far ahead yet, but
But it is.
understand that you need to negotiate and be aware of what's going on, because your livelihood and your retirement are tied into whatever you're being paid now.
I think there should almost be a college class for that,
I
for
agree.
women and men.
I
Because
agree.
like,
Oh, there
my
should
daughter's
be.
really great at it. I just would never have thought to do it. And luckily, I worked at a law firm, and it was me and another girl and a guy that started at the same time, and they always gave us the same raise. So,
How do you know that?
oh, I know, because we told each other.
Okay, that's what I was
You
saying.
know,
A lot of people don't do that though. They don't.
Yeah.
Most people don't do
It was a
that.
very small law firm, so,
Yeah.
but anyway,
Like against the rules.
and yeah, so anyway, I was very fortunate because I would not have gone in and, but my daughter has done it numerous times already, and she's only
It's a
28.
different mindset. You know
But-
what? They're like,
but
yeah, I
yeah.
don't mind.
There are other people that don't do
I
it
wouldn't
because
do
it's
Right.
it's scary, and some people are better at it than other people.
I think it's built tied into confidence and self-esteem
But
and
it should be
self-worth.
taught
and-
like.
But
I mean,
people
it's
don't
skills,
think- no, people
skills,
don't
and
think to
some
do
people
it,
are just
though.
innately gifted with that
Yeah.
skill, but some of us aren't. So
Yeah.
it should be.
I think especially
Taught,
women,
yeah.
though. I hate to say that, but I think that women are kind of taught that you just don't question
Well, I
it.
will
You
have
just
to
go
say
in.
that the
Some
guy
women don't
was
talk
the
about
one that was
money.
always
Right.
demanding the big raise, and we were really sort of the beneficiary of that.
Good, but that's not the case normally. That's
Yeah.
not the
That's
norm.
only because everybody, the higher ups knew that y'all knew whatever.
Well,
was making
the thing is,
profit.
they were very fair. They
Yeah.
were, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact, the firm that I worked from broke off from your father-in-law's firm, and they were very socially minded,
Yeah.
and that for them it was fair as fair.
Right.
Women, men. I mean, like that was they.
Yeah.
It was several Jewish fellas and some not, but it was like, they had been part helping with civil
Yeah.
rights, and there was just no way in their world
Right.
until something like really crazy happened, and that would have been after I left. That if somebody just, I don't know, way excels, then yeah, you give them a raise that is commensurate with their abilities.
Right,
And if
right.
somebody's not doing well, then,
Right.
but for the years I was there, and really until I went part-time, we were always given the same raise. But it was because the people that were in charge were
Yeah, they said
Very
that
fair
on tone
minded.
of the
Right.
culture.
very fair-minded.
At Goodyear, it was against the rules. I mean, Lily says that.
You can't talk about salary.
Right.
Right.
That was one of the
Well,
first
that's a
things they
big
were told.
corporation
Yeah.
telling you to do
Yeah.
that, 'cause
Right,
we
right.
get told that too,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
Yeah.
and
And
my
you're not
first
supposed to talk
corporate
about
job
You
in
do
this,
at your office?
my
Not specifically, but it's just kind of, but then people did, it's sort of a little bit,
But
but
I
you
do,
really
but I do
kind
think in
of,
bigger corporations like Pricewaterhouse or Kurt worked, I mean, you have people that way outwork, way out excel,
Sure.
and they deserve
Sure.
better pay,
Right.
and that's just the way it is. And other people, don't work as hard. They
That's-
don't put in as much. They shouldn't be rewarded
That's
for
true.
something that they're not doing.
I agree with that.
well, I was gonna say, my first corporate job in this area, I moved here and I needed a job and I was glad to get it. Settled on a pay scale and I was just glad to have the job. So they said, you know what, we're gonna give you $1,000 for a clothing allotment. I was like, oh, thank you so much. Well, like a year later, when I get my taxes back and the pay, whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
so they deducted that. So I actually started $1,000.
They deducted it?
Yes, I
I
actually
was saying, I
started.
thought you were just gonna say you had to pay tax on
No,
it.
no, no, no.
Oh.
They took that. So I actually started $1,000 less. So that took me several years to get back to what I had agreed
That
on.
doesn't sound right.
Oh,
Well,
that's not right.
That's
well,
strange.
they're like, oh, we want to give you $1,000.
Yeah, well,
I
thank
was
you
like,
so
oh, thank
much."
you so much. And I didn't ask any questions.
Mm.
And then we got my W-2 back in the next year. It's like, oh, so they started my salary $1,000.
So then the next
less.
year, did you make the same amount?
Well, it was maybe a teeny bit more, but it wasn't. It was
I mean,
not.
but
I
was
didn't
it
make up the $1,000 in 1 year. No.
So it had to be beneficial to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just how they
Wait a minute, so
present
let's
it.
give her
Let's
how
just
they
say the
present it.
amount was $25,000, and then 24 because they gave you.
Exactly.
So then
So
the
that
next
was
year
my
was your
starting
like
pay.
24.5, or I mean, did you,
I don't even remember.
I mean,
but
like,
I
I'm
do
just-
remember thinking this was supposed to be my starting salary, and then they
And that
said,
was supposed to be a
"We're gonna
bonus.
Give you $1,000 for clothing. Thank you so much. And that I didn't know until the W-2 came in the next year. Yeah. So,
being married to a tax accountant. So I worked at Nordstrom for 1 year when I was in Chicago after Busy left, and I was like just bored. And they had this contest: if you sell so much, you got X amount of free clothes. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not free. I mean, with my husband's tax rate, I mean, it'd be like, if I don't really like any of these clothes, then it's like not worth my time. So I said no thanks. No
so you didn't have to pay taxes on
No,
it.
what? Right? Because I didn't.
Right.
I
And
mean,
penalized more than it was worth.
it was unless I had really loved. It was like one
Yeah.
line of clothing that was
So you're
really
gonna
sort
buy
of.
it anyway.
It was
But the law
Lafayette
is what it's worth.
148 or whatever, and it was just a little bit old lady for me,
Yeah.
and it was just like not worth.
Which I like. I like.
I mean, but like this was like 5 years ago or something, and I was like,
Like,
the one thing that I wanted
You just
wasn't.
called us all old.
No. The one thing I wanted wasn't, I hadn't earned enough to get that particular thing. I would have gotten that particular thing. It was very nice, but otherwise I was like, I'd be just getting something, and then
And you just
I
really
would
didn't
have to
want
pay
it.
tax
Yeah.
on it
Well,
at 50% or whatever.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
No. So
my first job with my fancy English degree from Tulane was selling children's shoes at Parisian.
That sounds like an English major.
Yeah, that's what a good old English.
Parisian was a great
Yeah.
story.
But I spent everything I made on clothes.
I
Yeah,
know.
of course. You got a discount.
I did at spectrum too. Yeah.
Was this
They were the best
Parisian
place
here
to
or in
shop at.
Atlanta?
There was a Parisian here.
Here.
That was really
I love
Oh my
Parisian.
God.
So
It
there
was
was a
great.
Parisian at Phipps in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so
Every
when my
Parisian
babies
is
were
great.
little, oh my God, I would just go. I
No,
love
Phelps sucks,
Parisian.
but Parisian was great.
That's what
it
I
was
was
always
in
yeah,
graduate
that's-
school.
I was so
I got
sad.
tired
I
of
was
selling
so
shoes.
So did you love being in New Orleans at Tulane?
I
Did you
did.
absolutely
Yeah.
love it?
Yeah.
When were you there?
When was I there? 83 to 87. So, you know, I went to Newcomb. I mean, it's Newcomb, Tulane. I mean, it's all the same thing, but I got a really good education, and the Newcomb College was very oriented towards women's leadership and women's issues, so that opened my eyes a lot. And I'm still involved with
That's
the,
great.
That's
the
so
Newcomb
great,
Institute.
yeah.
And so, yeah,
Now, where did you go to high school here?
Altamont
Oh, okay.
with Miriam.
Oh.
And didn't you have
Shoot,
a
I thought you were
farm?
about 10 years younger, but you're only a few years younger.
yeah,
I'm just back then, you know.
the
was a
age
lot
is such a
younger
huge
than-
thing, yeah.
So who here went to Altamont?
I did.
So two of
But I
you.
only went 2 years.
But we went to junior high.
But we went to junior high together.
Okay.
Where is that?
Gresham
Gresham
Junior
Junior
High.
High.
But didn't your family have a farm here or something that was
Well,
like
I-
strangely like here, like
It was in
really-
Mount Brook,
On
right?
Montebello Road, that's what we sold, the family home, where my mother grew up. My grandfather bought it in 1917. My mother grew up there, I grew up there, and Hugo and I got married right after college and started living there.
Did he go to Tulane too?
No, he went to Vanderbilt
How'd y'all meet?
High School.
Oh, y'all went to
my
Okay.
Wow.
So y'all dated that whole time?
Pretty much, yeah.
He's so sweet.
So, yeah, and then we, you know, we raised our family in that house. And when I sold it a couple of years ago, it just turned 100 years old.
Oh wow.
Wow.
But they still have it intact. It's not. They haven't subdivided.
Oh
it or
no, the
anything.
people who bought it are fabulous, and they have the right sensibility about just letting it be what it is.
Maintaining
Was
it.
that like one of the first
It was
houses?
the second oldest house in Chase Valley.
Oh wow.
So,
That's
why
nice.
did you want to sell it to Gresham?
because it was time. I mean, there's a time and season for everything.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of acres, and Hugo always likes to say 200 sprinkler heads. it was a
So the
pool.
water bill was big.
My son had gone off to college. It just was time. It was time to downsize.
Yeah, to go.
Hello.
Oh my gosh. I'm
Yeah, you're
sorry.
ringing. No, you're ringing.
Sorry.
Though I must say it was very dramatic, and that's actually what my next, the book I'm finishing now is a memoir about raising my family in that house.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Do you have a book title yet?
I'm not telling.
Okay. Okay.
I do.
Do you have publishers?
So can we read it though for book club?
Okay.
So can we read it for book club?
Well, remember that what I said about the gestation period of an idea? We've gotten through the written first draft. Now there will be editing, and then there will
Have
be.
you done the?
Are you
Yeah, you don't have to do
Template
that
thing?
for. You don't have to do that for.
Okay.
Well, this is not fiction, but I didn't know. You can. I just wrote the.
Okay, good.
manuscript.
Are you going to self-publish or do you have a
No,
publisher?
I want to. I don't
But
wanna
now you know
publish it yet.
people, right?
Yeah,
You've got
exactly.
connections and you can
Right.
say,
Yes,
they
right.
know your
Yeah,
writing
yeah,
style.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lily Ledbetter will call for.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I hate publishing is a crapshoot. It's a casino. It is. I mean, it's
It's a gamble, yeah.
It's a gamble. It's interesting to see, and the industry has changed so much even since the publication of this. It changes every day, frankly.
You know what's interesting is like I am a voracious reader.
You are.
You are too.
But
I think it's fabulous.
I would never know how to write anything. I mean,
I would love to read something that you wrote because you were so
I bet
incredibly detailed on so many different things. Do you keep a journal? Do you do anything like that?
no, I really don't
I think
I
you
could write.
would.
I mean, I don't
Keep
have.
a journal on your pilgrimage.
I'm
there
totally
you
doing
go.
that.
Oh,
I'm actually gonna do like a video log or something, and I was gonna talk to you about that because,
Oh, I want to help.
right, I would like for your advice on this, because, I
Absolutely.
mean, it would be something like that it's not gonna be on Facebook, it's not gonna, you just like, you would have the link, and if you wanted to go to it, you could look at it, or whatever, but you know, it's something I only want for somebody that wants to, or is interested. I don't
Right.
just like to throw up on people, you know, what I'm doing, so, but I think a lot of people have expressed interest. Have you had that reaction?
No, I haven't really even told that many people that we're doing it, but I mean, I think there's a
Doing
huge
what?
difference. The Camino, the El Camino, the
Oh,
walk.
are you doing that too?
I mean, a month
I'm doing the whole
versus,
thing.
you know, 7 days.
You
is
are
ridiculous.
not.
I'm doing the whole 550
Yeah,
miles.
I mean, that's a huge difference.
Okay,
you
look.
That's what I was talking about. That's
Okay,
why
That's
look.
journal work.
When do
Yeah.
y'all
We're going
leave?
on a little vacation where we get to do some
like
walking.
end of
A
August.
week.
Okay, you've got to
It's still real, but
you've
that's
got to
realer.
videotape
Yeah.
Well,
this.
see, but like when I watch you, like I like that. I don't even understand how you do it in your car.
Okay, we will
But,
talk and we will do it.
Like when she's
I'm
in
very
her car,
gifted.
And she's like,
But
I'm like, how are you doing?
When, you know what? When I drive between Birmingham and Atlanta on 20, it's so straight. I can watch a movie. Tell anybody that.
Oh my gosh.
And you can
Watch
I
out for
can
that
read a
little
book.
bug.
I mean, I can listen to. I mean, I can
Yes.
do so many things in my car on I-20. It's. I'm
Oh my
very
God.
gifted. I really am. That's
And
why.
very
That's why. Do you not
You're not
see that I
around
have
somebody
Velcro on my phone because
Yeah.
it's on my wheel?
Right.
It's the best way to. I can't do these clip things. I have to have it right here.
Yeah.
I'm very gifted. But you guys have got to chronicle this somehow because I'm not gonna.
Julie's
I'm not
Well,
gonna
you know,
go.
it's
Well, we can
also,
chronicle ours, but it's a short.
It's the people you meet.
Yeah.
No, yes,
Those
you
are
have.
short.
You have to do
Those
some.
stories. That's what I want to tell.
You have to
that's
do
what I
it.
wanna
You have to do
show.
it. So you need to get one of these, which is I call it the brick. So
How
to
heavy is
charge
it?
your phone, it's not very heavy at all.
Okay.
But to keep your
It's an
phone
hour,
charged
isn't it?
because you guys are not going to be. Are you? I don't know. I don't even know.
No, I mean it would be. No, I don't think I even.
Every
need
night
that
would be
because,
someplace to
we'll
plug
be-
in.
I mean, I will be right with. If
Oh,
I
gosh.
talk to somebody
Okay.
or whatever.
Somebody's got to chronicle this because there's so many people who'd be interested in seeing it.
Right.
So you got to do it.
That's what I think.
We
Okay.
just watched the thing on YouTube or something on it.
Did you watch The Way? Or there's
There's
6
several.
Ways to
That's Martin
Santiago,
Sheen
which is a
movie.
documentary, which is really
Yeah, that's
good. The
one.
Way with Martin Sheen, which is
No, it was.
It's a
it's
sweet
all right,
story.
but
It's
6
sweet.
Ways to Santiago is way better. And it's
Really?
like, yeah, I mean it's a documentary, and like
Yeah.
you're with the same people. This one gal has her 2-year-old child in a stroller.
Oh my
And her
gosh.
brother's helping her, but like
Whoa.
in a stroller.
What is the purpose of this journey? I'm completely missed this.
You know what? It's whatever you want it to be, but it usually ends up being a spiritual journey. I mean, like
But originally, it was
it started in the
Pilgrims.
ninth century, and
And they were looking
and
for
sometimes it
relics
was
or-
as a punishment.
Or vow of
for people-
silence, like.
Yeah, or vow of silence, whatever. But they say that the bones of Saint James are buried at the
Santiago.
Cathedral de Santiago de Compostela, and so you either start on the
Saint
French
James was
route
Jesus'
or the
brother.
Portuguese
Portuguese
route, or there's several routes, but and sometimes like people would be punished and they would pay for somebody else to do their walk, but then it's become just a spiritual pilgrimage.
journey.
People
But it's in
make.
Spain.
It's mine starts in France. Like
We're going from
one day in France, and then you're in Spain, and then you go across northern Spain.
And how are you getting there? Are you riding a bike or what are you doing? You're
It's
walking.
40 miles a day.
What? No, I'm not walking 40 miles an hour.
Good God, Ginger, are you walking 40 miles a
10
day?
to 20
40
miles.
40 miles, girl, I couldn't do that.
Same difference, same 10 to 20. That's
10
a
to 20
long
miles a day.
way.
Yeah, it's really not.
Ours
It's
is
like,
10 to 12,
like,
right?
you
I
know,
think 12 to 14.
Okay,
12,
so
I mean, like 12 miles would take 4 hours. That's
okay,
not that
so
bad.
we're going to equip you with whatever you need so that you guys can chronicle this
Yeah.
because I want to see it so
I
that I
know.
can do it myself.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh, it
fascinating.
is fascinating. And like,